develop them?
I, I, I think the most important thing is the soft skill. Like, you need to understand one thing. This industry evolved so fast. The tools that we're using every day changes every day. You need to be able to learn new things really fast, pick up the new concept really fast. But the most important thing that you need to have is to understand how things work. Basically, if I would give an example, I would give from like Voxedit. Voxedit is a program that we use to create assets for the sandbox, a voxel base. But what it does is not just like building voxel, like blocks by blocks, like a Lego. Well, they do something more than that. They do animation on it. So if you have a basic knowledge about animation, how things work, how rigging works, how different parts move and interact with each other, understand about like the sea fighting and how to fix it. With those kind of things, it would give you a head start, like in a new program. Like tomorrow, it might not be what's it that we're working with. It could be like something else that we're working with. But these like basic knowledge will actually help me understand like the new program like much faster. Yeah.
What about you, Lisa? Anything to add?
These are the feedbacks that I've got from my team. Well, some of them they've been working in animation, and like Megan said, you have to know these basic knowledge and be adaptable to the new programs and technologies, platforms, whatever it is. You can be very versatile and adaptable to things that are changing every day. In addition to that, I feel like another thing that is important is that you're dealing with people, you're dealing with actual human beings. So social interaction is another important aspect that I would say that it is important for the developer, for the programmer to have. If you don't understand how people interact in real life, it would be almost impossible for you to make it work in the metaverse. Right?
It's like very difficult to plan this space. Like, oh, this is a space with people that are going to hang out, but like, oh, you don't know how to hang out with people. That's gonna be a bit odd.
And do you see any like challenges or barriers for people from Web2 to move into Web3, the creators from Web2 to move into Web3? And how do you think you can tackle those challenges?
I think the challenges, like in general, like literally like everywhere in the metaverse, like to be honest, user experience is actually quite difficult for people that doesn't understand anything about Web3 to come in and pick up the concept of like, oh, what is the NFT and what is the block? There are two things, like two things that you can create, like, oh, how are they different? That's something. And then you have to think about like the wallet address, like those basic things would probably like be the largest barrier for people who are not that good at tech to jump into this. Like not all creators have like a tech mind person, right? And I think the other thing is that it's not only a barrier for the creators, it's also a barrier for like the end user as well. And then like us as a creators would think like, oh, this is so difficult to onboard like our end user. How are we going to create like an experience to do that? That's a challenge. And also like it's also an opportunity for us. Like Luni Lab doesn't only work on like designing experience, but we work on finding problem and solutions to help tackle these issues as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
User experience is key, right? To increase accessibility, yeah, and like eventually it will open the door for more people from Web 2 to Web 3. Yeah, I agree with that.
So those in actually this is not I'm not done with like my question, my answer yet. So sorry. So like with those like infrastructure that like are still like lacking of good user experience, I think the tool is also like very important because like the tool right now it's like I said it's changing all the time. It is evolving all the time. So for creators, like I said, that we actually have to keep up with like be proactive with like new changes, learn new things really fast, pick up the new concept really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think change and adaptation is also very important to be in this area, either in Web 2 or Web 3, but if you're in the tech industry, then something that you have to keep that in mind. Yeah, and for Kun Tang, understand that you are a content provider, right? And there's a shift from traditional way to creating content in the metaverse. Do you see any changes or challenges to your team, and how do you tackle them?
Well, I feel like we have to learn, try and error by together, because I'm not like an expert in this field as well. We see the importance of why we have to do it because it will be the future, of course, and we have our own IPs since we're content creators. So what we understand is that we should be able to make all these IPs and turn them into something that is useful, that are useful in the metaverse, and also can be enjoyed by the users, not just to be put there and that's it. Just like, okay, we have an animation film, people know it.
ใช้ได้ครับใช้ได้
But how do we make it fun? We have to create a new storyline. We have to redesign stuff. We have to make it into a new design that fits with the platform, whatever it is. These are all the challenges. Dealing with a team is also another challenge. People seem to be very, they have their own ways of like, things should be like this and that, and we have to like try to find a middle ground. It's like, okay, let's just go on this path. Okay, ultimately I feel like it's a process of living and learning, and also thank you to you guys for giving us the opportunity, for having us to be a partner with Sandbox, having our games in there. Yeah, I feel like that should be. I'm not sure if that is enough for the answer.
Yeah. Thank you for being part of our big family here. Yeah, and let's pause it a bit because we have another special guest be with us today. Hi, Seth. Hi. You see us and hear us loud and clear?
Yeah, I see everyone. Thank you. Sorry for being late. Connection issues with Teams. But here I am, and ready to talk on topics.
Hi, Seth. Can you introduce yourself a little bit for our audience?
Absolutely. My name is Sébastien. I'm the COO and co-founder of the Sandbox, as well as the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance.
Yeah, welcome you to the panel today. And we have another amazing two speakers with us here at District 8, Bangkok, Thailand as well. Kun Megan Prapasi and Kun Tang Tirat.
Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you again. I only see one of the two, like maybe the camera doesn't show them all. It seems like
You have to wave your hand over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we are talking about the future of job in the metaverse, and I would like to throw some questions to you because we already got some perspective like from the local creators and content provider, right? So we would like to understand from your global point of view. From the organization in the sandbox, what job in the metaverse that you think is the most in demand right now?
So at the moment, I think like creators is the most in demand. Like we are seeing like all this ecosystem that's been developing for the past 12 months with now 230 studios in 30 countries or continents. And those studios, they have still like big projects coming up, either from top brands, here in China, from other regions of the world. And sometimes they also have their own internal project as the platform is going to open self-publishing very soon. And they are constrained, like they have to build the product in a rather short timeline. And they are unable to find enough virtual artists who are essentially the content designers that populate those experience, animators who are like making those content like more live or animated, and sometimes as well like the architects and the level designer who are essentially like populating those environments and adding the gamification mechanics behind. So if we are unable to find those talent, it's time to search on like people with similar skills, either like coming from a background in 3D animation, 3D art, etc. And some of them, they also went into like launching their own workshops and training programs. And I've seen that developed quite recently in Asia. I think academy, university offer like short programs, 3 months long, for them to become like voxel artists and designers of the manager, working on concrete projects for those brands, being on ramp with this sort of companionage where like you have like someone who review your work as you design concrete content that will go live and be certified to then work into like production in the real content. However, the exciting thing is what it is just the beginning. The creator, I think, is only a tiny portion of the whole job spectrum that we're going to envision within marriage. As a matter of fact, once those experiments will be live, we will need people to keep them updated, like running what we call live ops in the video game industry, which can be thought like the same way as you open like a shopping mall or a restaurant. You want to bring people in, so you want to always like refresh your menu, you want to have activation happening, you want to welcome and organize sometimes activity events on certain days that will engage people to come back or just to have fun. And community managers, hosts, tour guides, people who are curating content and organizing activities are jobs in demand. We also see people who organize like job fairs, weddings, wellness, and other activities in those spaces. Even people like virtual dance clubs, so they organize like DJ nights where they invite and bring out friends to listen to some DJs. I think like we're just scratching the surface here in terms of like the possibilities. I see the play side will start to rise again, probably by the end of the year. Creators will also offer rewards, quests, and some users will find that collecting different rewards could be useful as it drive an economy behind all those different things that you own. You have the freedom to choose if you want to transfer them, exchange them, sell them. And it's a gain of time that some creators and users might be looking at. So interestingly, I just had a meeting with a platform called Inti.gg. Like that's what they provide. Like they provide basically quests and tasks and missions for matching like experiences to players. And it's interesting to see like there is in an ecosystem already services of matchmaking this demand and those needs.
Oh, thank you so much. you talked about a lot of opportunities in the metaverse, and you guys jot down, make sure you guys jot down all the opportunities that Seth mentioned. And Seth, just want to understand from your point of view of the local talents, like you are in India right now and we are in Thailand right now, right? Do you think, the local talent can go global? Yeah, because metaverse is like, there's no country in particular, right? What do you think about this?
So yeah, I like to say like the metaverse is like this global digital nation without borders, and talents has no borders. Basically, we've seen teams from the US working with artists from Ukraine. We've seen projects that I thought were actually based in France, and then I met the artists here in India or sometimes in China. So it's really global in the culturalization, and it became global thanks to the team, the work of our teams on the ground to present these opportunities to the creator, present like new creator economy, and present like how accessible those tools are. Meaning like people can really. It has been like a strong transformation in a lot of people's jobs and careers. Like many of the creators working in a platform like Sandbox, they never imagined that they would become architects of the megaverse or designers of the metaverse. Like maybe they were meant for more like jobs in service industry or in finance and tech. We have a perfect example of people who were working in a bank or investment fund and now gets allowed to like spawn out their career to become like more in the creative side. That's really interesting. And recently we have made a video documentary in Korea, for example, where a teacher, like we followed the day of or the week of the teacher for quite some time, where like he followed Sandbox and then trained 200 students about Sandbox in his own school, and like how that career shift has happened for him. I think like the talent also Web3 brings like a great equalizer in terms of like how talent gets paid. There's a very unfortunate fact that the people who are the most creative, who bring the most value to the experience, games, movie, films, and general entertainment content that we consume, are usually the ones that have the least paid in the industry. And it's even more terrible that like certain like market practice tend to push down the prices towards the artists to maximize profit for like older actors in the industry. And so there is not a fair redistribution of the revenues that those products generate toward the people who contribute to build them. In Web3, like it's all transparent, and the digital assets you own, you sell them, and you keep maximum part of the value you generate, 95% in the case of a platform like Sandbox. And I think it's important to show like it doesn't matter the country you're from. If you're a talented artist, like there should be like some sort of basic income and even a basic standard of revenue where like someone in India, someone in Thailand will earn the same as someone in US, in Japan, in Korea. And we might take some time until we reach that, but overall, like Web3 enabled those opportunities to be again discussed and to be a driving force for that equalization of the value and distribution of revenue toward the creative instead of other academic channels.
Thank you so much, Seth. Yeah, I would like to hear from our panels, two of our speakers here today as well. What would you think of the career path of the metaverse creators in your company, and also what are the resources or the supports that you can give to the creator? Okay, you go first.
For me is the one thing is to always invest in your team members, which is essentially mean that they have to be able to keep up and stay ahead of the game. Whatever it is, if there's new technology, new programs or whatever, we have to make sure that they are in the program. I mean, to be able to use and adapt to all these new technology or all these programs in order to create whatever we're doing the projects and on their career path. I think that for us, our team is not so big yet, but I think in the near future we are expanding quite a lot, and I think it is a pretty good increasing feedback in a good way, I would say, in terms of like the projects and the feedback from our client and business partner that heard about what we're doing right now at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, amazing to learn that you invest a lot in the results.
Yes. We have to. We invested in a lot of technology that are used to make metaverse and games. We flew around just to see what's new and try to be the center of Southeast Asia in terms of like the one-stop service in terms of the technology and the staff member, basically. Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
And Megan, I think, do you have any like comment on what needs to be improved or any support that if you're creators, what support do you want or require to develop the skills as a creator?
I think a thorough like documentation would help when the new things that came out. It would speed things up, like speed the learning. Seth is like smiling. Other support like if we talk only on like the sandbox. The sandbox has like a very good like community, good support, and they have like good kind of like good communication with their community. So like every time there are new updates, there's always alerts, and there's always like people on the Discord group. When we don't know something, we just type out like, hey, how can we do this thing? Like we don't know how to figure this thing out. Like with me and my team, like we're a new team, we're a small team, but we are learning new things all the time, and we always like find new things, experiment like new logic, new game mechanics together, and then create some fun stuff. Yeah.
You feel like a really good working environment. Yeah. And for SEP, for a larger organization like the Sandbox, right? How do you attract and motivate and support your talents?
So it's a great question. Like, how do you foster like this kind of creativity and ensure that it remains all the time? So there's two things that we're doing. The first one is like we have internal creative teams that are working on certain of our most important partnerships on the production of those experiences. And we want to bring, we mix young talent with soft talent. So like there's always this learning curve, and there's still like a lot of aspiration. So you bring like a very talented like senior animation director that works on like 3D CGI animation movies, and you bring like new voxel artists which like they are young, but you feel like they have like a great potential, and you've already verified their skills, and usually it works great. The second thing that we do is like we have like we bring together multiple skills team. So you have like game designers, media designers, concept artists, narrative designers, 3D modeler, and animator. And actually, like narrative designers, even though when they just write text, actually they bring a lot of value because they think ahead of the type of content that the artist can bring. And as a team talk together, like how they have conceptualized the experience and the content they're going to build, it generally promotes a lot more creativity. I'm also going to say something that might, not everyone might agree with, but we found that having a great working environment, having a great office, and bringing back people do not do like remote work, but do a majority of work at office, sitting next to other as a creative team, has brought more results. And we have 4 days work week at office and 1 day that they can choose of remote work. And we find like there's always those moments where they are not necessarily always producing on in front of a computer, but they talk to go to get coffee, to have lunch, etc., where they still like think how they can enhance the creativity and benefit the overall and results the experience they put. The second thing we found is we also assembled a team generally from all the best artists that we had from the community. So somehow we promoted them, fairly, and then we promoting them in one team, making them work on the best project, and it created a lot of emulators because they feel like not only their skills are being valued, but we give them the best ideas in the world to work on. So like they want to show and double down effort to make sure that when they work on the Walking Dead or Communities or Fruit of Experience, like something they create will be always valued and perceived. The quality will always be perceived. That's great. The second thing we put is the ecosystem. Third thing we're putting is the ecosystem. And within that ecosystem, we have regular workshop, certification program, where like our artists are reviewing the work from external studios, sharing guidelines, best practice. We also have community managers who do an amazing job. I think they stream on a daily basis. We can name them on that one or city, a lead for the animator, and they share live input. They have live interaction with the creator and the community, answering their question, giving them recommendation on how to improve that. And I feel like this is kind of like mentoring story that a lot of artists they say, if she was not there, live streaming as she creates, I wouldn't be there. Like I learned so much just by following and participating and engaging. And then we can feel that somehow they are become the modern educators, the modern people who share the skill set, the knowledge, and have been encouraging more and more people to enter the space. And Sandbox being a creative platform for people user content, we can feel that having the overall community of creators involved is generally like very positive. And as we've been developing our ecosystem globally, like today I'm in India, last week I was in Singapore, and before I was in Korea, in Japan, and in Hong Kong, and a few months before I was here with you in Thailand. Thing as well, like we are very approachable. Like we are here, we're next to the creator. We want to see what to do, we want you to show us what to do, and we want to feel like we are part of a great journey. I think this human touch to everything we are building is so important. Like that's for me also something that a lot of creators they get isolated. They are sometimes they have not got the pressure. They work too much, isolated, and now they connect with peers, both in physical events and location or in the virtual world, has been tremendously impactful for them. And at the end of the day, we are glad to be a platform that enables that.
Yeah, it creates a lot sense of inclusivity. And yeah, I really like it. Like all the global team, like coming into one, and no one has been like left behind. Yeah, really love this. Yeah, and one of the questions before we end